Mm-hmm. 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 Is this working? Can never tell if it's working. I've never. Mm-hmm. 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 All right, so today we're going to be getting started on an A1502 that does not see the SSD. I'm kind of curious if this is going to be for similar reasons to one of my previous videos. Only one way to find out. I have something stuck in my head that's even worse than Rickroll. Ugh. Let's get started and let's see how much I can get done before my sandwich arrives. I can't wait for my sandwich to arrive. That's going to be amazing. macOS 10.14 killed support for 2011 Macs as high voltage DC. What do you mean by that? What are you talking about? I finally got my money's worth out of Lewis's support forums, by the way. Oh boy. Paul, you were supposed to have an honorary membership. What happened with that? I wonder if Duke would actually start using Flex Board View now. I do believe that the last time I checked, he was still using Landrex. No 2011 Macs are supported with 10.14. Oh. That sandwich. I'm hungry. Okay, SSD Mac can wait. You can suck it. It's time for my food. Where's that specialized salt? Oh no. Where's the salt that makes everything taste good? Uh-oh. Ah, here it is. Be very sad if I was missing my salt. I guess I haven't touched... I touched some nasty MacBooks. I should really take the gloves off. MacBooks are nasty. Most of the MacBooks that I receive are disgusting. Fixed a bunch yesterday, now I go to the shop. Fix one more, then build a bench. It's going to be a long day. Is it really worth building them over going to IKEA, Tim? Are you doing this to save money? Or because you just want to be a man and build your own benches? I just go to IKEA. Sandwich. Did tell me, Tim? Did they send you that Dynolite piece of crap camera? I still have that here somewhere. What a piece of shit. I gotta move this for a while so I can eat my food.
Usually this place takes way longer to deliver. I was expecting to not have food until after my first repair. Mm. 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 That was an excellent sandwich. My God, that sandwich is better than sex. That sandwich was definitively better than sex. My God. Good sandwich was definitely better than bad burrito. That was a good fucking sandwich. Westville, you've outdone yourself. Westville, you know what you're doing. Thumbs up. That was quality. My God. My taste buds could not be more erect than they are right now. And unlike with sex, I actually know where to put it. Ugh. Let's clean off the desk. You never want food residue mixed in with computers. Want to have a nice clean desk to put the nasty customer MacBooks on. It's always important when dealing with nasty customer MacBooks that you ensure that your desk is completely clean. All right, I have the mic in the right place. All right, so the issue with this machine is that it doesn't see the SSD. So let's try and see if we can figure out why. Okay, let's get all the screws off of the bottom and go from there. Still no overhead camera. Nope, overhead cam is broke. And I'm probably not buying a new one. Fuck that. my air conditioner decided to die, and this air conditioner is in the process of dying. I got some M-Tech flux from your store, but not having much luck replacing DDR3 chips. Any tips? It smokes before I can get it to dance, or it never dances at lower temps. Preheat the board. Firstly, what the hell are you doing replacing DDR3 chips? You're scaring me. That is not a moneymaker. But what you need to do, firstly, the flux is always going to smoke. I mean, by not smoke, it's going to always, you're always going to see some vapor. I hope you're using a fume extractor, by the way, so you're not inhaling that shit. But it's always going to vaporize a little bit. What you want is to preheat the board a ridiculous amount. Make sure that you preheat the board before you get started. I would even go so far as to put it in an oven for 10 or 20 minutes at 250 Fahrenheit if you don't have a preheater. Then you're going to preheat the chip from, why does this not have a nozzle on it? You're going to preheat the chip from far away, maybe a minute or two. Then go in closer. Then a little closer. And then when you see that there's barely any flux except for on the border of the chip, then you're going to go in even closer, and that's when you're going to go in for the kill. Hopefully you have a powerful enough station at that point and the board has been preheated enough at that point that you can get the job done. Where was I? I was talking about the sandwich being better than sex. Then I was talking about, oh yeah, the not having an overhead camera. Yeah, so apparently my air conditioner died. This is a capacitor that started to smell really, really bad when what I imagine, it started to explode or something, and the entire store smelled like exploding tantalum electrolytic crap. So I could buy a new AC, but this AC in the back, that I don't know. Let me see if I can get it so you can see that. So this piece of shit, that thing up there, that thing is like 30 years old, and it sometimes turns on, sometimes doesn't. So I'm thinking, fuck it with this ghetto system of having two large window units at each end of the store. The middle room is always slightly warmer, even with the ductwork that's put in. So that putting in a proper HVAC system is like $3,000. My bike got stolen at $600. So like overhead camera, meh. Yeah, not on the priority list. I would like to be cold for the summer. So I'm going to be spending some money on one of those proper HVAC systems. And it makes me sick because the next tenant's probably going to get it. It's likely one of those things where I'm just going to wind up ripping it out of spite when they wind up, sending the place to, giving the store away to some Chase Bank or Starbucks or something in 2023 for like $18,000 a month. But yeah, once they ask for like $8,000 or $10,000 a month, I'm going to wind up ripping that HVAC shit out of here. Whatever I put in, even if I'm just using it in my fucking apartment or house. Okay, so I need a T5 screwdriver, which has been stolen. I need to get myself a T5. Be right back. Okay. So it says doesn't see an SSD. So the first thing I want to do is see if this SSD is visible in another computer. Because if it's not visible in another computer, then it's not a motherboard problem, which means it doesn't have to be on my desk. That would be great. Was it worth the $13? Absolutely. Oh my God, that burger would have been worth $40, $50, maybe $60. Mike, that was oh, what a burger. What a sandwich. I have a 2011 MacBook Air, and the temp sensor goes until 97 Celsius when I use a lot of apps. Should I open it and change the thermal paste? Yeah, but the issue is not going to be the thermal paste so much as it is dust. Is that a capacitor for an iMac? That's a capacitor for my 15,000 BTU air conditioner in the front. The bike you did the snow stream on was stolen. Absolutely. It actually lasted longer than I thought. It was like 7 months or so. I didn't expect that. Okay. Yeah, overhead camera watches us from heaven. Indeed. R.I.P. overhead cam. Okay, so where's my test MacBook? My test MacBook. It's this one. this old scratched up piece of crap. And come on, autofocus, be faster. Autofocus, hello. Okay. How's it going? You had to put the wireless thing with the metal corner up against the $400 monitor? Really? You're going to unscratch the monitor? But it's already scratched the monitor. Okay. Rest in peace, little unused monitor. Okay, we're going to swap these. And try powering each one on. Ugh. I think there are hardworking people everywhere. There are also lazy people in every country. Here in Germany, we used to give the dirty work to the people to the east. Huh. You did? Hey Louis, decided to try liquid metal on my MacBook Pro 15-inch. Drop temps by about 15 Celsius. Would recommend, but use conformal coating. I haven't opened my Lenovo because I honestly don't want to. I just don't want to. I don't want to open a laptop when I go home. I've been meaning to do it with my P50 because it hits 97 Celsius, which is no good. Okay, so charge you up. My test MacBook has frozen. Well, that's great. That's no good. And this MacBook actually started up just fine. So yeah, so the person with the MacBook that said that they could not recognize an SSD, that MacBook actually recognizes the SSD fine because this is booting. It's my MacBook. And so that's not a board issue. And this computer over here, my tester computer with the customer SSD, just randomly froze. So, bad SSD. Boring. There's no fun in that for me to fix. Well, we could try it one more time and see what happens. Also, thank you to Drew. Can I send you my unused 4K Brio for overhead? Yeah, sure, why not? Let's see if it boots this time. How much is that MacBook? A ripoff. Absolute ripoff. Boot. Nope. Now it has a question mark. All right, so customer SSD is no good. That's boring. Has nothing to do with anything that's going to be fun or exciting or cool. So we put this aside, put it in a slot, and hopefully the next one we work on will be something that's actually fun. How much is the tax? 8.875% is tax. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on Apple's viewing yesterday? I don't watch that shit. I've never watched that shit in my life. The new iOS is going to be better than ever before, and it's going to slow down your older phone even more than last year's. Yay! I don't give a fuck. What did they copy Samsung with?
They're like human AR emojis. Samsung copied them.
Oh,
Apple copied
I can't believe anybody's even bothering to put engineering effort into that shit.
them. So bad.
I don't give a fuck about emojis that look like that talk along with me. Yeah, that's just
Now they make it look like your face.
you've just run out of shit to put into a phone. Just admit it. You've run out of shit to charge people more than on the next year's model for. They just ran out of shit. What is your opinion on the Roseanne issues? I mean, she said stupid shit. I wasn't really crazy offended by it. She always says really silly, stupid shit. She's been doing that for like 20 years. I think it's silly that they fired her because if they hired her, they have to have known that that is what she does. You can just read her tweet history, read a history of whatever it is that she's said and done over the past 20 years. So you knew what you were getting. I don't get why you would hire a crazy person and then fire them for being the crazy person that you hired them for. The show is literally named after her. It's literally named after the crazy person that you hired. So you were clearly hiring that person for their personality, but then you don't like it when they act like their personality. I don't get it. In terms of offense, I don't really I don't care. You know, I mean, the stuff that Joyanne Reed wrote on and said on a lot of her blogs were, I would say, kind of equally offensive to a lot of the crap that Rosanna said. Nobody gives a shit about that. I mean, they're both bad. You know, I'm not defending either of what they did. It's just. I used to watch Roseanne when I was a kid. But yeah, you know. And then there's also the whole thing of calling people monkeys. I mean, I don't use monkey as a term for race. I use monkey as a term for idiot. So it did make me more cognizant of that. And you're going to burn the shit out of that speaker.
I am.
Yes, I know. I've done it like 5 times. Shield it.
Thank you for the heads up.
But I have, yeah, especially on the forum, Duke uses the word monkey constantly. And he's not referring to race. He's referring to idiot that cannot think for themselves regardless of race, religion, or gender. I don't know. I also think Roseanne is silly in some ways in that she's just being a grandma. She doesn't know what she should or shouldn't say on social media. Like if she had made that joke amongst a group of close friends, nobody would care. But she didn't. She made that joke in front of millions of people on Twitter. I mean that's kind of dumb. Roseanne, are you guy talking about that stupid, boring TV show? I sure am. I discuss what people ask about in the chat. Let's see. Doesn't charge or turn on from delta end. All right, so this is going to be a MacBook Air that doesn't turn on. Let's figure out why without the overhead cam. Does Paul have his own channel for the shitty work you make him do? He should start one. I have a Mercedes car door opener for him, waiting for tomorrow. So let's see. What's wrong with this piece of garbage? Gabbage, as they would say in Boston.
By the way, there's a whole shield door here.
Hmm?
There's a whole shield door.
Oh, beautiful. So on the power supply, when I plug this in, it draws 0.000 amps. So this machine's not even trying. It's not giving you anything. It's not even trying. So the first thing I'm going to do is see if the DC in board's actually plugged in. And it seems like the DC in board is actually plugged in. That's the first thing I would look for, because you never know with the shit that people send in nowadays. So let's plug it in. Let's actually take the board out first and then go from there. Do you fix any computers besides MacBooks? Nope, not even my own. I have a ThinkPad P50. I should replace the thermal paste on it so it stops hitting 97 Celsius, and I don't. Damn roll cage. What's wrong with the car door opener? I'm guessing it doesn't open the car. It comes from a Mercedes, Paul S.'s favorite brand. He's going to love it. He's the mechanic. I really don't get when people send us stuff like that. Like, I mean, I hope you're not expecting me to test that thing. Yeah, let me buy a donor Mercedes just to see if it'll open the door. But I hope they don't expect me to test it. What tester? Oh. Yeah, and that on the step. Tweezers. Tweezer, 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 tweezer. All right, took it out of the machine, and now it works, and it turns on. Well, that was easy. So this one already works. Probably bad trackpad. Let's see. Isn't it great when the computer that you get that you're supposed to fix already works? Less work for me. Take a look at that. This is what it looks like on the trackpad when you remove the battery. So in this machine, the trackpad sits under the battery. This machine was before Apple decided to start. This machine is from before when Apple decided to start gluing the batteries into the casing. So it's a little bit more reasonable to get into. Now you may be wondering, why is it that the trackpad having this on it can stop the machine from working? What does the trackpad have to do with the rest of the computer? That's a very good question. So let's check out the schematic in the board view so I can show you why it is that this would be an issue on this model computer. If we look over here in Flex Board View, and we go over to the trackpad connector, J4800, you'll see a list of all the signals present. One of these signals present is SMC LSOC Reset L. Let's click that signal and have it show up in the PDF reader. Let's find you. That's going to go to U5110. U5110 is for SMC reset. SMC reset the SMC can be reset by the trackpad. It can also be reset by SMC on-off L. SMC on-off L is your power key. So when you reset the SMC by holding down the power key, what you're doing is you're telling the SMC reset IC, reset the SMC. The SMC speaks is, let's show you the SMC. So the SMC is going to be where was I? Crap, lost my place. SMC reset L over here goes to the SMC chip. The SMC is U5000. U5000 is going to talk to the charging IC. And I'll show you that in a moment. Come on. Here we are. So SMC, U5000, has a data line with the battery charging chip. And the battery charging chip is going to control the charger. So the trackpad having a teeny tiny speck of liquid on it can actually stop the charger from working and can entirely destroy the machine's ability to turn on. Since this signal, SMC LSOC reset, is present at the trackpad, and I'll go back to that here. Since SMC LSOC reset L goes through the trackpad, and also SMC on-off L goes through the trackpad, and these two signals go directly to the SMC reset IC, which then goes directly to the SMC, you can actually fry the system's ability to turn on by getting a single drop of liquid into the trackpad, which is not sealed in any way, shape, or form to stop liquid from getting into the computer. If we take a look, you'll see that the connector for the trackpad is right over here. Let's turn off face focus on the camera because that's going to screw things up. So this is my trackpad connector. Focus, you fucker. Focus. Seriously, Sony? This is what $2,300 gets me? You fucking piece of shit. Fucking really, Sony? Okay, come on. Here we go. Manual focus for the win. So, this is the trackpad. This is the connection between the keyboard and the trackpad. The keyboard communicates with the trackpad, and then the trackpad communicates both the keyboard signal and the trackpad signal over to the computer. This connection is right on the edge. It's not in the middle, it's right on the edge. And there is no seal on this machine. So if we look at the other side of the computer, you'll see that on every side of the trackpad over here, there is an opening. And you can actually see through that opening. Look at that quality. You could see the light from the window in that opening. Look at that. Look at that. Think different. Fucking think different. Engineer different, folks. That is Apple. So what happens is if you get even a single drop of liquid on it, it's going to corrode this section, and it's going to look like this. So the trackpad itself, getting a spot of liquid on it, faced it. I messed up my camera angle. So the trackpad itself, getting a single speck of liquid on it, will not only ruin the trackpad due to the complete lack of sealing in this machine, it will actually destroy the machine's ability to turn on because in Apple land, in Think Different land, the trackpad communicates directly with the system management controller, which can tell it to not turn on anymore. Great. Should know. The trackpad communicates directly with the chip that allows the SMC, which is the system management controller, to be reset so that the system doesn't turn on. Fucking think different. All right, let me show you. Let me show you some thinking. So we're going to go back to think. Now, if we think rather than think different, if we just fucking think even a tiny bit for ourselves, you'll see this beautiful trackpad here. This is a ThinkPad. for people who think. Now, if you take a look, you'll notice that if I zoom in on my trackpad, like right here, that around the trackpad itself, you can't really see through it. And I'll get it under the microscope here. You're probably going to see some burrito lint in there. Don't be too disgusted. But see that? It's a sealed edge. I can't see right through it.
That's the macros, at least not yet.
Ah, who the fuck are you? See that? Okay, it's got some skin cells in there. You know, can't really do much about that. Yeah, sure. You're not going to ruin my waterproofing, are you? Now, what I'm going to do, just to make this a little bit more fair, is I'm actually going to remove the battery, since that has where the trackpad is on the other side. So let's be fair to Apple here, because I know there's going to be some people that say, Louis, you're just hating on Apple. You're hating on Apple. So this is the trackpad. It's visible. I have removed the battery. I'm going to shine like this. Can you see the light from the window through my ThinkPad? No, you can't. You know why? Because the people that designed this computer actually thought. You need to learn how to think before you can learn how to think differently. If you don't, this is what happens. So let's replace the trackpad on that machine and move on to the next ticket. Reason number 6082 to not buy Apple products. That is such a joke. That is such a fucking joke. Why, Apple? Why? Did you accidentally turn on manual focus? No, I turned off face detection. Thanks for reminding me. Because this camera does track your face. See, I can do this. It still knows who I am. I can go back here. It tracks faces, which is really cool. If I turn that off, it goes to hell. I like the face focus thing. I never would have thought that the touchpad is not sealed. What the hell crap? Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, okay, you didn't seal the trackpad. You didn't protect it from liquid damage. Fine. It's not liquid resistant. Lots of computers in the market are not liquid resistant. I understand that. Is there any need that you need to make it so poorly that if I shine the machine up, that if I hold the machine up to the camera behind a window, that the light and that the sunlight from the window will make its way to the camera? Is there any reason for that? Like that is BS. That is such BS. No, they don't use Phillips. I just lost all the original screws and put a bunch of Phillips. That window is flickering like a monitor. Is it? Let's see, what do you see? Actually, look at the screen. Check that out.
Oh, it is.
We need to set the refresh rate of the camera to the refresh rate of the sun. What's the refresh rate of the sun? Do you know the refresh rate of the sun? You're a photographer, right? Why is my window flickering? Look at that. Look at that.
Because that's an old camera. It can't keep up with all the different lights.
So, I mean, what's wrong with the camera? Is it refresh?
Shade on the window.
Like, you know how cameras have a specific ISO, how high they can go?
Yeah.
That ISO can't be at a high and a low at the same time.
see.
So this is dark right here, and that's very bright over there.
Interesting.
So it's like it can't keep up with.
When I set it to auto, it started working. Wait, look, if I move my head, watch, if my head's back here, the window doesn't flicker.
So it tries to focus on the window.
Yeah.
You're matching the sunlight right now because you're.
Oh.
And then when you
But
close
if it focuses on me, then it fucks up the...
yeah,
What? So what's doing that?
it can't match both. Like
Oh.
if it's focusing on you, it can't match the window.
Put a shade on the window as well.
Interesting. Let's see. What if I change?
Look like you're in prison.
Hmm.
You see?
Yeah, that's weird. Well, when do I get my red camera?
I actually had a joke about that. Buying you a red like case for your camera.
You gonna get me a red case for my camera? I'll settle for that. Next machine. All right. This just needs a trackpad and then probably a trackpad cable just to be safe. You don't want stuff coming back. Just let's go at 7. Mm-hmm.
Also, I think Paul took your camera. It's not there anymore.
Maybe Paul's gonna fix it, or maybe he stepped on it out of frustration from how many times I've given it to him. I wouldn't blame Paul if he literally stepped on that camera from all the times I've given it to him. You need some LED lighting run from DC, no flicker. That is not fluorescent lighting. That is a window. How much is a red camera? Can you buy it for $5? No, but I can put your $5 towards I can. Is there any accessory that I can buy for a red camera for $5? Like a tripod, maybe? No. God, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. Linus invited me to his event. So what I'm thinking is maybe when I go up there, yeah, I'm thinking of stealing Linus's red camera.
The whole scandal about it. Get a bunch of views from Linus.
Because the thing, I like, yeah. I think I'm going to steal Linus's red camera while I'm up there. Because he wanted to do a video about the right to repair, which would be on the way. So it means that the camera's literally going to be right in front of me. So I just got to like do a jump and grab it. And I'll go out, fucking beat it with the truck. No, I'm not going to do that. That would be fucked up.
Did I order a burrito?
That would be fucked up.
I did not order. I did not order a burrito, but it arrived.
No, but it's tempting.
Dude, I didn't order this. No. I mean, it's definitely the thing I ordered yesterday. I didn't order this. Take it. Free food. Also, Derek, can you pass the whole thing?
It's all right. Linus has 2 of them. Okay, maybe. He has 2 red cameras?
But they're not the monster.
So, yeah.
He has like 4.
He has like 4, and then he also has like the red dragon.
Yeah, but he's not dumb enough to invite me in. I don't think Linus did this. It's one of his employees that did, actually. Like Edsel something. I have to see. Eric says, Louis, I've been following your asshole cleaning advice. I feel great. I'm glad. Glad it's been going well. You're going to feel better. I'm telling you. It's good for you. If he had, yeah, maybe I'll take that. You can buy a handle from Red's website for $9.50. Wow. I bet the camera that I'm recording this with is probably worth $9.50 now.
I'm pretty sure a cable costs like $300 or something.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's
From the monitor to the camera.
that sounds very Apple.
Yeah.
I wonder if Red is a subsidiary of Apple. I know this camera's fine.
Get an Area Alexa, except no one actually gets that.
This camera's fine, I think. What do you all think in chat? This camera good, or shit? If you had to rate it, what are your thoughts? I just changed it over to auto, so maybe it's just my settings on the camera that were messed up. How is it most of the boards you repair have so many pubes on them when there's no ventilation holes in the MacBooks? That's interesting. I'm not sure. This MacBook appears to be covered in blood. So next up, we're going to be going over a MacBook Air that has no backlight on the screen. I'll turn it on so that you can see what the backlight on the screen looks like when it's missing. Thanks for fixing our machine live. It was fun to watch. Here's a coffee on me. Thank you, David Prinzing. That's very kind of you. I appreciate that. As you can see, we have nothing on the screen, even though the fan itself is spinning. So let's take a look at that board. Let's take a look at the backlight circuit inside of it and see if there's anything obvious going on. The first thing that I should point out here is if you're going to open the machine and try and take the board out or clean anything or mess with it, take a look at how this Wi-Fi wire is routed. See how the Wi-Fi wire is routed through this little channel? Okay, you want to keep that routing going. You don't want to put it around the screw hole over here. That's no good. Take this wire and put it where it belongs. You don't want to touch the wrong thing. You never want to be touching the wrong spot. Greetings from Australia. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Bill. You never want to be touching the wrong spot. As many dissatisfied women have told me over the course of my life, you don't want to be touching the wrong spot. Okay, so I'm going to put this little wire in the right spot. There we go. And that's what it's... So let me just show you what it's supposed to look like now. Just as a tip, in case you're ever taking this apart. Goes like that and stretches around. The long wire for the Wi-Fi is going to go through the first slit, and the short Wi-Fi wire is going to go through the second slit. Okay, let's take this thing apart and take a look at the backlight circuit. Maybe you can accidentally spill some Jägermeister on and make a repair video after. Camera is okay. Meh, needs to be brighter. Oh, face focus, crap. I gotta get a remote for that. All fine, good, it's good, okay. One of the best I've seen on YouTube. Probably have the best. Okay, so I'm not buying a new camera anytime soon. He keeps telling me to buy a red camera. I keep telling him to buy me a red camera. I know that he has more money than me, too.
Use your YouTube money.
What YouTube money?
From all those ads you put on the videos.
Those ads pay shit.
So then don't put the ads on the videos.
Well, I'll take the shit if I can get it.
Especially those Honda ads.
I have Honda ads? I'm not. This must be something new. Up until 2 months ago, the only ads on my video ever were Wix. Have you ever seen an ad before, let's say, March of this year for anything but Wix?
I had YouTube Radio.
Oh. Because all I ever hear is, do you need a website? Do you need a website? Do you need a website? Why not do it yourself? With Wix's online platform, there's no need anymore to actually learn HTML, WordPress, Magento, and fuck with Square. Who gives a shit about Squarespace? Don't delay. Design a website with Wix today. Carly Kloss approved. Ever had a MacBook die from cigarette tar? I got a GTX 460 from a friend that came back to life after cleaning the PCB in the sink. Works well today. I have not had a MacBook that died from that. But I have worked on studio gear that died from smoke. That was just filled with disgusting smoke. Let's see.
I still have YouTube, but I just don't watch videos. Because I have to transfer all my subscribers.
Carly Kloss.
There's no screw I'm missing out. And I don't want to break it. So this thing doesn't want to open. Wow.
You have many more screws to remove, my friend. What are you trying to remove? Oh, there's this. Under this, there's going to be screws hiding.
Oh, you can just yank those out. Those are the drives.
Oh, yeah. There's
Oh, sweet Jesus.
there's screws. There's different screws everywhere. Start a collection for a red camera and crap. Didn't read the whole thing. You ever had a Mac? Oh shit, I'm behind. 1 second. I will read everything in a moment. That's a waste of money. If somebody gave me $40,000, there's like 50 ways I would spend that. 100,000 ways I would spend it before buying a camera with it. But let's see. Oh, okay. What have I missed? Must be in a good mood. At least I self-deprecate when I'm in a good mood. I'm in a happy mood right now. I'm a happy guy. Hmm.
If Apple put this many screws in a laptop, would you still work on them?
Meh. Oh, other people.
Open it for you.
Oh, for sure. And then there's a roll cage inside of it.
Oh, no.
You can't forget the roll cage. You've had a lot of backlight repairs today, yes. Thank you for the fast shipment on the Flux. It came well packaged, just haven't had a chance to use it yet. Hi, Serendipity. Ever had a MacBook? I read that one already.
Would you like a burrito that I did not pay for and just showed up here?
No, I just ate. I had the better than sex sandwich 20 minutes ago. Speaking of the better than sex sandwich, Hi217 is trolling me. I bought the TS100. What tips would you recommend for it? I forget. I pointed out the tips that I recommended in the TS100 review. I recommended something that I think was like a bevel tip, and then I think the other one that I recommended was the one that was like the HAKKO T30-KN. I tried to find HAKKO equivalents, TS100 equivalents for the tips that I like. My T430, the heatsink goes over the roll cage. Yeah, it's not going to be fun. Luckily, I'm not the one opening it. Like your comment about the capacitor. Thank you, Q's Tech Service. I think I trolled you recently on your video. Don't you make a video titled the 2914 GPU capacitor? Man, I rage when I see that so bad. Because there's at least 3 other videos on YouTube where people are applying that solution to another machine. They're taking the 2010 solution and applying it to the 2011. Don't do that! I saw somebody on, with an 820-2915 board saying, look, I'm replacing C9560. I'm like, ah! No! You're doing it wrong! That is not right. Yeah, somebody actually came here. I watch your videos, and he came in with a 2915 board. He tried to replace C9560 on it, which doesn't exist. Oh yeah, he started scraping. He started scraping and everything. Like I'm not. This is the first time that I said, "Oh yeah, sure, you can use my soldering setup." Somebody says, "Oh, can I use your soldering setup?" Sure. What could go wrong with that? And then he winds up asking Paul for help after he knocks half the capacitors off of his board. And then we realize, wait, the 2915, you're fucked. There's nothing you can do. There's a reason it didn't fit properly. Anyway, on to this piece of shit. So why do you think this has no backlight? I will let all of you be the judge and guess when I switch over to the microscope camera. What do you see? What I see is, wow, there's red liquid all over the board. It looks like blood. Blood's coming out of its LCD connector. Blood's coming out of its wherever. Look at this. Blood on pin 3. So this is the backlight pin over here. And that is abused. My God. Look at that. That pin is totally burned off of the board. Gross. Ugh. What are you trying to take off?
The back cover.
Oh, you have to take off the front cover first. So first thing you have to do is get rid of the keyboard. You thought this was easy, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. That was
Yeah.
a Mac, but, like,
Yeah, you got owned.
a well-built Mac. Yeah, just thermal paste. What's the big deal?
Yeah, there was a reason I was procrastinating this. By the way, if the screen color sensor doesn't work, I'm blaming you for it. Even if it stopped working 2 years ago.
Wait, does it not work? Oh, shoot.
There may be a crack in the case like over here, which I'm probably going to blame you for as well. So this. All right. Anyway, back to this cancer board. So take a look here, and you'll see that the first noticeable problem, and the reason that this likely doesn't work, is our feedback trace is blown. Between here and here, this is backlight output. This is where the backlight diode is. This is where it goes to the capacitors that are going to store the backlight voltage. And this is where it's going to go back to the LED driver so that the LED driver can see what it is that it's creating. The LED driver is going to be doing all of its switching on this side. The switching is going to make the inductor, which is this piece over here, mad. When the inductor gets mad, it's going to create more voltage, and that's going to allow our backlight circuit to work, which is the most technical and advanced definition I can give you at this time. So it doesn't know what's going on this side unless it has a path back to the chip, and this is its path back to the chip. If it doesn't see what voltage it's creating at backlight output, it's not going to do anything, and that's going to be a big problem, which is why we need to reconnect that. Now, this is actually going to have a backlight if I reconnect that. Also, do keep in mind, actually no, it's not because this pin is burned. Now, here's the fun part. This is a MacBook. What do you think that the backlight fuse has blown? So this over here is the backlight fuse. Do you think the backlight fuse will have blown? The 2 pins on the LCD connector for backlight are literally burned off the board. They're missing. How do you think MacBook engineering works? Do you think the fuse is going to be good? I think the fuse is going to be good. This is going to be some good stuff. Think different, folks. Engineer different. Think different. Measure different. Different. All right. Oh, they fucking think different from everybody else, don't they? All right, so as you can see here, the pins for the backlight connector are not just a little corroded, they're missing from the board. And we're going to see what type of effect that has had on the backlight fuse. Holy crap, it finally blew! 4.3 million ohms. I'll be damned. Okay, I take it back. I take back my shit posting. I'm also going to change my camera off of auto because it keeps changing the exposure and the ISO and it's driving me nuts. There we go. So, all right. My shit posting on Apple is limited for the day. Yeah, finally the backlight fuse burned. Finally the backlight fuse burned. All right, so let's get this out of the computer. And let's replace all this stuff. The fuse sure did its job, right? It definitely blew before everything else did. I like to order a motherboard extra pubes, red, no ice. I refuse to believe it. Haha, I get Quantum Mech. You sure it wasn't 4 ohms instead of 4 million? Yeah. Paul Daniels' software does this thing where it flickers the M. So this is the LED driver chip. Might as well show you that. The LED driver chip looks pretty good. The bottom side of the board itself actually looks pretty good. I don't think we're going to have any problems there. There's a pube coming off of our feedback ball on the right. See that ball on the lower right? It's got a pube coming out of it, but that pube is probably what's infusing it with power. We need that pube. We're not going to touch that pube. That pube is that pube is there to stay. That's a good pube. Why is this built so well? Well, that's a roll cage. So the whole idea is if you drop it, the board isn't going to flex or break into pieces because there's a cage surrounding the casing. I know. Taking that apart sucks. I know. I was wondering why you agreed to it. There's a reason that I hate taking that apart. There's a reason I'm using stock thermal paste on that ThinkPad.
You want liquid metal?
Do you have liquid metal?
No, but I could probably order it.
No, fuck ordering it. That means taking that thing apart again. I'll just use the standard thermal
Get,
paste.
like, next hour delivery or something.
No, who cares? Liquid metal's a... I'm sure that thermal paste will be just fine. How do you get next hour delivery on liquid metal?
Prime now. Amazon is a beautiful thing.
But they're actually going to deliver something as cheap as thermal paste? Like, how much money is the guy making from that?
Nothing.
So why would he do it?
Because Amazon, they want to push the boundaries.
Push. Is the new guy taking apart the P50? The new guy is taking apart the P50. Wish my P50 luck. More luck than my camera. Try Amtech Tacky Flux for thermal pastes. Diode is fine, but still, I'd like to replace it with a nicer one. How do you find customers practice if you want to get into the repair business? What I would suggest doing is buying stuff and reselling it. There's not going to be great profit doing that, but the thing is you get to practice on your own time with your own stuff. So the customer is not the one that gets screwed. If you buy and sell stuff, you're practicing on your own. If you buy something and you break it and destroy it beyond repair, or it takes extra time to figure out, or anything like that, you're not screwing a customer who's waiting, you're only screwing yourself. Really? Oh, you got it out. That's my P50? Damn. Oh, this is a really cool heatsink design. Yeah, so check out the design of the P50 heatsink. This is really cool. Overhead camera is dead, rest in peace. Indeed. Thank you for the 10. So this is my P50. So you have, I think that's the CPU and that's the GPU. And you have two fans, and you have this really large dual heat pipe. And it's got nice beefy vents. So you get vents, 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 and more on the side. There's no shortage of vents. Yeah, this one versus a MacBook. Where's your vents? They don't have vents. And this skinny little shit sink. Yeah, this is this looks like it's going to be a pain in the ass to remove. And look at the RAM. So you have 4 RAM slots in a fucking laptop. 1 RAM slot, 2 RAM slot. 2 spots for either M2 PCI Express or SATA SSDs, or standard SATA SSD. So I have 2 SSDs in RAID 0. You have another space over here somewhere for an M2 slot. So you could probably have 3 drives in this thing. And you have the other 2 RAM slots. So this machine has 32 gigabytes of RAM. If I wanted, I could put 64 gigabytes of RAM, but I'm not going to put that in that machine.
Oh, and the RAM you can take out from the back as well.
And the RAM is easily removable, not soldered on. That's a machine. Mwah. That's a spicy meatball. I wish there was no shortage of events you need to make a get-together for board repair people. Maybe. That sounds like something that could be fun. For others, I mean. That's the main thing that I don't think I'd find fun with it. Meeting people. Meh. I usually don't like people. When it comes to updating software, Louis is dreadful. I never update software. I find updating software to be a bad thing to do. Drone Tips donated 20 zigzags through the chat. Thank you very much to Drone Tips for the 20 zigzags. I appreciate that. So now we're going to go over some of the nasty stuff here. And I want to put some nice leaded solder on this board, and then we're going to put some lead, and then we're going to remove all the lead-free junk with some wick. The flux is going to make it easier to get on there. And might as well touch up the joints in those resistors. Those resistors are going to be fine. They don't carry a lot of current. Just a little bit corroded is all. Come on, Cap. Get out of here.
No, not too hard to take off.
You got the heatsink off? Oh, does
There's a
it?
bunch of thermal pads here.
Wow, thermal pads for the VRAM. Have you ever seen thermal pads for video memory on a MacBook?
This thing's so heavy. This is like all the weight.
What?
The motherboard's like nothing. The heatsink is all the weight.
Wow. This heatsink weighs as much as a MacBook. If you feel. Yeah, this is really nice.
That's high quality.
And you can see that they use thermal pads for the GPU video memory. You will never see this on a MacBook. Do you think the XPS 15 is shit? No, I don't think it's shit. I wouldn't use it over a ThinkPad, don't get me wrong, but it's thinner than a ThinkPad. It's more portable than a ThinkPad. It has the ability to charge through USB-C, which a ThinkPad doesn't. So you got some benefits to the XPS 15, and it definitely has a better screen than the fucking ThinkPad. I mean, it has a much better screen than the ThinkPad. Not even close to comparable. But at the same time, durability down, track point. There's no track point. I like my track point. My wick is gone. Where'd my wick go? Where is wick? I need.
CPU gets to like, here, just follow this.
Oh, thank you.
You said your CPU gets to 90 something.
Yeah, 97.
Jesus Christ.
I know.
With this thing too? That heatsink?
Yeah, that's a quad core Xeon.
Oh man.
That's a server processor. And the Quadro N2000 GPU.
By the way, the GPU and CPU, you were wrong. This is CPU, this is GPU.
Oh, are they soldered or slotted? Yeah, you're right, I was wrong. So the big heatsink was for the GPU, the tiny one was for the CPU. That's a lot of... Yeah, look at all the liquid resistance on there, all the tape over everything. Gotta respect Lenovo. Direct contact is better than thermal pads. Yes, but what does Apple use for video memory?
Yeah, video memory doesn't.
Okay, spoiler alert. Apple uses nothing for the video memory. The video memory does not touch a heatsink. And it's not even like it doesn't get hot. In the 2915 board, the video memory is boiling.
Yeah, it doesn't get as hot as like the GPU or CPU obviously.
It does. If touch it, you'll see. You can burn your hand touching that.
Then why wouldn't they use thermal paste and stuff?
Because they're Apple. Think different.
No, I mean Lenovo.
Oh.
Pad.
I mean, the pad is not that bad for the for the memory. So crap. I scraped off a pad. But that pad isn't for anything anyway. I was a little too aggressive in my wicking because I wanted this pin to be good. I wanted to bring back this pad. See what I'm talking about? This is the one that I was trying to bring back. But, oh well. What do you think about Hackintoshes, to be exact? Would you build one? I built a Hackintosh because there are certain programs that I occasionally have to run that use a lot of CPU, but so that they would benefit from a good CPU. But I don't need a graphics card. I don't need the expensiveness of an Apple system. I want to be able to just put together a system with a motherboard, a cheap ass motherboard, a really fast CPU, and 8 gigabytes of RAM, and that's it. And so I got a Hackintosh for that. The thing is, it randomly freezes all the time. Sometimes it'll recognize SATA devices. Sometimes it won't recognize SATA devices. And I used the hardware build that was recommended on a Tony Mac X86. So if you want to mess around, go for it. If you want a stable system, meh. I'm not saying it's not doable. I'm just saying it's a pain in the ass, and you can use a guide that somebody else has written, and people claim is tested to work, and it doesn't.
So much stuff updates on the site.
What?
It's just like constantly coming back.
Most amount of time you have spent in a rabbit hole board? Probably 3 hours. 3 hours or so. What do you think of the ZenBook Pro, which is a screen, is a touchpad? I'm not sure if I'm thinking of the right one. If I'm thinking of the same machine that has the crappiest DC jack in the world, then I'm not a fan of it. ZenBook. Sounds familiar. Most amount. Okay. Some refurbing. Yeah, let's get these caps off as well. They look terrible. What do you think of the new Xiaomi MacBook Pro clone? I've never seen it. Don't clone a MacBook. If there's any computer in the world that you can clone, why would you choose for it to be a MacBook? Don't clone this thing. Don't clone a MacBook. What's wrong with you people cloning MacBooks? MacBooks are not what you clone. GTFO, you useless fuse. You're helping Linus fix his iMac. I don't know. Again, I don't know jack shit about that machine, so not really sure if I would be helpful. They have some convention that they invited me to, so it could be fun. First time I see you live, the guy who bring me to buy a Huawei phone instead of my next iPhone after the first gen iPhone. Cool. Does Rossmann supply authentic Amtech flux? Try the UV light test and see how it glows. We supply authentic deep Amtech flux from Deep River, Connecticut. Connecticut. So is the Quick now as good to work with as your other hot air stations? Yeah. Paul still prefers the JBC. I actually prefer the Quick to the JBC because it seems to heat faster. Yeah, the button on the JBC. I always manage to hit that thing. And the JBC is clearly a more expensive and more refined unit. It doesn't make as much noise. It doesn't cause lights to flicker. But do I really care about the more refined nature of it? You know, it's not like it's a luxury car. Yeah, especially since that is an extra $1,300 over this. Screw that. And not to mention, people think that the quick heating element is expensive, around $50. Heating element replacement for that JVC is $200 something. 200, I think it was $220. You could almost buy a quick for the price of a JVC heating element by itself. That is insane. That is pure insanity. Pure insanity. JVC may be great, but it's too expensive. I'll take the quick, someone says. Yeah, that's a good choice. I don't blame you. It's not a bad station. It's just it's not priced even remotely competitively. They're not even trying. They're not. I can't stop eating caviar, says. Why are you eating caviar? Don't eat caviar. That's too much money. Don't eat caviar. Hello. You can buy cheap kits for practice. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I recommend good hot air stations, but there's no way I'm going to advise somebody to spend that much money. What causes a cassette player to phase in and out? You're asking the wrong generation. Do you know anything about how to fix cassette players? What's a cassette player? My assistant says, what's a cassette player? Yeah, you're asking the wrong generation of people. Sorry about that. Ask your grandpa. I worked on a Studer A800 and a Studer AA27 like 10 years ago. But that was a lifetime ago. Wipe the reading head, says Snoop Fox. Yeah, what he said. What he said. You know what a cassette player is, right? You've seen a cassette player before. Yeah, his great-grandpa has one. He knows exactly what it is. How's the thermal paste project? Oh, beautiful. And you cleaned it off of the... Oh, yeah, that looks like a lot. They really do put a lot of thermal paste on there. They just slosh it on. Really? They solder it to what? Oh, yeah. Cassette fade in and out could be a bad head, pinch roller, but could also be expired pad. Expired pad. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know a damn thing about cassettes. I just use a paper towel to clean it off initially, and then after that I use the Q-tip and the alcohol and all that. Best way to fix a cassette player is 1 pound of C4. I agree with that. I agree with that. Back in the old days, I upgraded my record player. I upgraded my record player to a Sony Walkman cassette player. And then I was able to walk around and use things portably. Oh my, back in my day, Sonny! You can roll the cane.
It's just a random cane in the side of the shop.
Yeah,
Why is that there? For intruders?
yeah. To beat people who ask me to fix cassette players. I love when cassette players eat the tape. Yeah, that's a shit medium. Fuck cassette players. Lewis is part of CD and the digital generation. I grew up with cassette tapes. I like CDs. I can't stand vinyl personally. You're listening to bad digital. You're digitaling it wrong. Sounds dirty. Should I give them a new fuse or a certified pre-owned fuse? Given that this fuse is not going to blow anyway, I probably should give them a used fuse. It would be more likely to blow and actually do its job. Kind of curious if they were saying anything fucked up about me up there. When I went to get my fuse. What do you think of Microsoft buying GitHub? I don't have any opinion on the matter. Paul Daniels, what do you think of Microsoft buying GitHub? Are you and Richard Stallman posing a protest?
When you get a counterfeit Windows license, are you just getting it from a refurbished laptop?
What?
If you get a counterfeit Windows license, you get that from the bottom of a...
I have no idea.
It's like $20. Okay. Thermal paste in the side.
Sexy thermal paste?
Beautiful. I'll bring liquid metal tomorrow.
No, you're not. Screw opening that thing again.
I don't want to do it. I want to see the performance.
Okay, what did you use as thermal paste? Not the flux, right?
No, I use MS.
Oh, that's fine.
It's okay. Nothing is...
It's not going to beep when I turn it on now, is it? It would be funny if that beeped when you turned it on. What does Paul Daniels say?
This thing, I'd be out of here.
I don't know if iFixit has a guide for the P50. You could be the first. You can make one.
No. I just buy tools from him. That's it. Probably because no one was dumb enough to actually bother taking this thing apart.
Yeah, you have to hate yourself to take a ThinkPad apart.
So then again, you're lucky that you're working on MacBooks. They break really easily, and they're really easy to take apart.
At least now. With the iBook, you had to remove over. There were like 95 steps to get to the hard drive of an iBook.
Although now battery replacements are really hard to sell glued in versus a ThinkPad, just like one simple flash and you're out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we're gonna bridge these pins together. 'Cause the pad seemed not very nice for backlight, so I'd like to bridge pins 3 and 4. They're both going to the same place. You see how hard it is to actually bridge something when I'm trying to bridge it. Mm-hmm. Now the last thing we got to do is the feedback trace. Ugh. Gross. This part doesn't look very nice. So this is going to require a bit of creativity. Some creativity. What are you doing? Oh, yeah. And before Microsoft starts charging for using GitHub, how does GitHub make money? To stay up out of curiosity. I don't get how they make money. Who do they send the bill to for the servers and the hosting and all that? And the staff and... They don't. They lose around $30 million a year. Okay, so at that point, if Microsoft decided to charge money for GitHub, that would be totally sensible, since you can't run shit for free that loses you $30 million a year. Now, if there's a way to monetize it without charging people, then, you know, that people agree to, fine, but...
They could just take the data and sell it to other companies and start making money.
Or they could just take your projects and start selling them to other companies, and that's how they take your money. That would be bad, though. I think that would be a bad way to go about it.
I feel like no one would complain though.
No, I think a lot of people would complain if that was the case. Something tells me that that would piss a lot of people off. That would probably not be...
Everyone's doing it anyway. What's
The-
the big deal? They're not selling it, they're just giving it.
Okay. Make this board look nice again. Make this board look great again. Okay, we're going to solder to that little nub. Mwah. Thank you for everything you've taught me, Louis. I'm Australian, so hopefully you enjoy my $5 Australian. Yes, I do enjoy your $5 Australian. That's 7? Whoa. Well, that's cool. But maybe. Yeah. But I wasn't gonna read it. How do you think $5 Australian shows up on screen? AS5. Okay, we got our feedback attached. Doubled up on the wire. Made it super strong. Q's Tech Service. I use the main concept encoder at 92 megabit per second. Technically the best rendering setting would be to output losslessly, wave audio, and lossless video, and then use FFmpeg with a libx264 directly to encode to YouTube. But who the fuck got the time for that? So what I do is I just use. Yeah, I don't trust the default settings for that. All right. Premiere is for people who are smarter than I am. But what's the benefit of learning Premiere? But I don't want to do more stuff. I want to make more video. Okay. Let's see how this works. I should. Do we get a light or a fire? I hope for a light. I'll settle for a little bit of smoke. I would much prefer not to have a fire. Have you ever considered implementing a media share system here? I'm not sure what that would be or what it would be for. Or what you mean by a media share system. Premiere is garbage anyway. Yeah. Barnacle has some $10,000 computer and he's always tweeting about Premiere crashing. I can't imagine paying for that software.
Actually, no, it does.
Yeah. Like, that's fine. When Kden Live crashes on me, what did I pay for it, you know? But from Premiere, I'm not paying for shit that's going to crash on me.
Premiere crashed while I was making at it. I had to restart the entire thing.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not saying.
I didn't save it because I thought, oh yeah, it's Premiere, it's not going to break.
Yeah. If it's free software, that's fine, but you're not crashing if you're charging me. F out of here. I would say main concept encoder, high profile, 92 megabit per second. That's what I use on my. I've never tried DaVinci Resolve. I use Vegas because I'm a noob. Okay, let's see. Do you turn on? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's dead. Uh-oh. Interesting. With the screen plugged in, it's dead. All right. Let's try that again, you fucking troll. Try that again, you damn troll. Now it turns on. Okay, backlight voltage is. I would use Kden Live more if I could put proper audio plugins on output and not just the stock ones. So I get 8 volts at the fuse, 8 volts at the other side of the fuse. 0 volts on backlight output. 8 volts on one side of the coil. 0 volts on the other side of the coil. There's no way that the coil could be bad because iPad Rehab sells a shirt that says that it's never the coil.
It's on the bottom in that case. Because the coil. Oh, it's broken. On the donor one.
Oh, no way. All right, so this over here is the backlight coil.
I fixed the coil yesterday, and that was the issue as well.
Ready for this? So L7701. If we go over to L7701, this is the coil in the backlight circuit. Now we're going to measure the voltage that we get at one side of the coil. And you'll see on screen that we get 8.5 volts. But on the other side of the coil, we get 0.19 volts, proving that when Jessa stated that it's never the coil, she only did so because she didn't want any of you to get easy repairs. Jessa did that so that she could get all of those easy coil repairs and keep all the money for herself. Let's move on and replace the coil because I'm not sending this to Jessa.
This one had a bad coil.
Really? No way.
Or it was ripped. Something else.
Okay, time to remove this broken backlight coil. Paul Daniels, it can't be the driver shorting to ground because if it was, we'd blow the fuse. And watch, when the coil comes off, the leg on the bottom is not going to follow it. Okay, so it did. But still, is the coil. It's going to be the coil. This requires wick intervention, says Rick Vandermark. Remember, Jessa always recommends using wick. Indeed, this is one Jessa suggestion that I'll take, which is Jessa Jones of iPad Rehab's suggestion that you always wick your pads.
How do you remove a coil?
Hot air.
Will it burn?
Nah.
Shouldn't you heat from the bottom?
Nah. Jess is building the 8th wonder of the world money tower, says Chuck. And she's doing it off of your coils. MobiFix says I always wick girls. Not the same thing, is it? How are you doing, MobiFix? MobiFix is the channel's resident polyamorous player. Okay, we got our pads wicked, prepared for that new coil. Now to harvest the coil. Wonder if I have any coils left from all those coil repairs that I have to do, because the coil breaks so often. But coil. I'm doing good, but someone keyed my car today, so I'm also very agitated. Who would key your car? That's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. New coil? You mean certified pre-owned coil. You got me.
You can sell new coil.
You got me. Not new. Not new. It's an old coil.
Is there a way to buy a new coil ever?
At store.rossmanngroup.com. No, I don't sell coils. I'm kidding.
You don't even have any 00163 boards, so I have to pay with another board.
Will coil replacement fix this board? One way to find out.
Which one? Oh,
I told you I wasn't going crazy yesterday.
that's not the same board.
No, but it's a similar.
It's the same circuit.
What? That can't be. It can't be.
Yes, it can.
Much lie.
I'm also Australian, and I would like to hand you my... No. But I appreciate the offer. Thank you, but no. I'm gonna me too you if you try to do that. Don't you? You all cut that shit out.
Does Litecoin have a policy that if you open it, they won't fix it? Or? Probably not.
Give me backlight, give me backlight, give me backlight. No backlight. You bastard. Backlight output, 8 volts. All right, LED drivers next. At least we're getting 8 volts at backlight output instead of what we were getting before. Because before we were getting 0.01 volts. The last thing left in the chain here is the LED driver. So the reason that I'm going for the LED driver is simple. We had a break in the board over here. See? Where we ran that little wire, there was a break. Now, if you go over to the schematic in the board view software, you'll see that the break occurs over here. And this is going to go to feedback. Feedback is going to go to this ball of the LED driver. So most likely, if something happened that was harsh enough on this board to actually rip a hole in it over there, then most likely the chip on the other side is going to be bad as well, which is why we're going to repeal and then replace it with a better one. One that's more suited, a fitter, happier backlight output chip. Let's just turn on our soldering station and get to work. Where can you get LED drivers? You can get them at store.rossmanngroup.com. Don't delay. Buy today. Never delay. But buy Buy today. Uh-huh.
That's crazy. That's engineering right there.
That's my chip. Them's my balls. Snapped in?
Yeah.
The 5th pin on the connector is missing its connection, yes, for the person who pointed it out. But if you look on my board view software, you'll see that pin 5 on the connector is unconnected. It goes to nothing. See? Unconnected. That's why it actually came off so easily. The reason it came off so easily is because it wasn't attached to anything. Uh-oh. Move that resistor out of the way. Let's add some solder to the pad. Uh-oh. No! What have I done? What have I done? Well, shit. All right, let me get a new LED driver, and I'll put that resistor back in place in just a moment. Be right back after this commercial.
You should put the stock commercial for last week.
Every time Louis goes on about his balls, I'm scared my parents are going to think I'm watching gay porn. Well, that is indeed a real concern. That is a concern. That is something that, yeah, I could see how that would be a problem for you. Yeah, that would definitely be a problem. But you should know better by now, really. You shouldn't have me on if your parents are around. If
My mom watches these skippies.
what?
My mom watches these skippies.
Your mom watches my streams?
Pretty sure.
No way. And she still lets you come here?
Yep.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Wow. My mother would have drove down here and smacked me. That is incredibly surprising to me. You have some really cool parents, let me tell you that. My parents wouldn't let me use the stove.
What the heck?
My mom legit did not let us use the stove. It was fun. And here's the funny part. Like she was absolutely out of her mind. So my dad was first cook at the Plaza Hotel. Like one of the most prestigious places to eat in Manhattan. Yet when he actually came home, he was not allowed to use the stove or the cutting board or any of that stuff. She'd say, I don't want you messing up my kitchen. You're going to mess it up. You don't know what you're doing. I managed to like, move out at 17, never having used the stove or a cutting board or having made myself food.
This is what you order in every day?
Yeah, and you get to like show up at a store and solder shit at like half my age. You have some cool parents, let me tell you. Yeah, you should tell them that you have that they're cool and you appreciate them not being assholes, because mine are assholes. All right. Let's grab an LED driver. That lady up there eats some weed brownies or something. What the fuck? Yeah, they probably crunched some on some weed brownies. Hmm?
It's so hard to put back in.
Oh. Did you plugged everything in?
Yeah.
Hmm. Oh, this isn't clipped.
Oh.
What? That's not even close to clipped. Okay. Is YouTube Super Chat and Streamlabs the same? No. Super Chat, YouTube, I think, takes 30% of the money. And Super Chat, I think they... And Streamlabs, they take like 3% of the money. So there's a... But Streamlabs, if I miss a donation, it's harder for me to find the message. I like Streamlabs. I'm a fan of that whole 3% versus 30% thing. You know, I can't say I'm... What do you recommend I tell people who send me boards when Thunderbolt doesn't work? I would... Yeah, I don't mess with that. I don't try to fix anything where Thunderbolt didn't work. Because a lot of the times I fix boards and then Thunderbolt doesn't work. So, you know, I wouldn't put the time into it. That's kind of like bottom of the pile stuff for me. And speaking of bottom of the pile, I just ruined a good LED driver. Damn, I'm dumb. Alright, I'm going to get another one.
That does appear to be nicely clipped in.
Hmm?
That looks nicely clipped in.
Yes. Is that why you stopped swearing on stream? Because you think that kids would stop being able to watch because of their parents? Yeah, that was a big part of it, but... I don't swear in the edited videos. I still wind up swearing on stream, but I edit it out of the main channel videos. Yeah, I can't bleep it in real life. In live, though, I would need a button for that, or a person, with that 5-second delay.
What about your New Year's resolution?
Yeah, what about? Yeah, that's what the Streamlabs thing is for, because the YouTube one takes a lot. See you later, Rick. Okay, wicked my pads. And let's get myself another chip.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to sort that out yourself. I don't really have a way of, you know, okay, you have to go through all of your files.
But would it say like I just find why is this like happening?
Didn't slide in. See the tabs?
Yeah.
Let's see. Like, close enough. What? Oh, well.
Just like take it out and then push it back in.
That's about as good as it's going to get, probably.
Really? No, I think so. Really? further. We'll have to push it like pretty nearly.
Oh, yeah. Look at those solder balls. Oh, yeah. Let's see if we get a backlight. How do you know that your mom watches this stuff?
She told me.
What were her comments?
I don't think she watches this stuff. I think she just watches your edited videos.
Oh, okay. So the bleeped ones. Whew.
So,
Yeah.
but then again, if she watches your edited videos, there's a good chance she may have watched my review. But then again, it's a different channel, thank goodness.
Mm-hmm. Give me a backlight. I've put too much work into you to not see that light. Don't you dare not light up. I will hunt you down.
If it doesn't light up, just give it to Paul.
If this doesn't light up, it's going to be given to Paul. I can't get owned by a no backlight. This is just going to be bad for reputation. Mother... 8.5 volts. Alright. Lamaze breathing. It's important. I want to have kids someday, so it's important to practice your Lamaze breathing. Because the kids are going to... Okay. Let's go through this step by step. Step 1. Is backlight enable present? C. Is it being told to be bright? Kinda, sorta, maybe. Yeah, that's a very low PWM value.
There's no light on the Apple logo at all.
Nope.
You want to fix that one that had no fan spin, no regular charger, that now has a fan spin but no backlight.
Yeah. Okay, maybe the feedback is not making its way from one side of the board to the other. Boom. Rage. My wire is attached, isn't it?
Be funny if it wasn't.
That feedback wire is not attached. Okay. You know what? You're just going to get attached manually. Fuck it. I'm not doing that again. I'm not switching irons again. Screw that. Those are the probe points where feedback is going to go directly to the LED driver. And I'm sure this will work just fine. I did a crappy jumper up there.
When you got this, did it have hard drives in it?
Yeah.
And Lenovo has no care that you put that in there?
They didn't care at all. Yeah, I took out the drive they put in there.
What do you think Apple would say if you did on a Mac?
What Apple says, no, for the 2011 recall, people put an SSD in, they were actually telling them that you need to put your original drive back in to get service. Did Apple? That's what Apple does. That's the type of company they are.
It does help them, I guess, so they don't have to like fix a bunch.
It's no, it's just an excuse. To use Barlow lens and Amscope, keep those balls flowing. Great work. I don't use a Barlow lens because I got used to having this small working distance. If you're coming from something like the Amscope SE400, you're probably not going to be as used to the small working distance, and it'll bother you. But if you're coming from, if you get used to it, then it won't bother you. Also, the Barlow lens messes with the image quality a little bit, and I want to have maximal image quality for stream. If I wanted a microscope that was ideally comfortable, I would get a Mantis. Yeah, I would get one of those Mantis microscopes. I forget the model of it. Vision Engineering Mantis Elite Cam microscope. The problem is that the camera inside that microscope is terrible. It's really awful. So even though it would actually be much healthier for my posture because I have this habit of sitting like this instead of like this, and it's really screwing with my posture. If I had that camera, the streaming that I'd be able to do would be garbage. It's something like 15 or 20 frames a second, low resolution, very overcompressed. It's
Yeah, but YouTube compresses the stream anyway. A lot.
Anyway, so yeah, so if I were in streaming, I'd use a Mantis Elite because it's way better than all of these in terms of the quality that you see when you're not using a camera, and also pure comfort.
Almost fairly good quality that you see. Where's the battery? Oh, good work.
Backlight. Ow! Fixed. Just my feedback jumper sucked. God, this is a dirty board. Look at all that flux and junky crap. Clean or hot?
Nope. You shouldn't wait.
Yeah, just heat it up. Hit heat. Huh?
Is this thing charging?
Supposed to be. Wait, this is one of the annoying things with Lenovo. Sometimes I have to plug it in order for it to see the battery. It's absolutely retarded. It did that with my T440 and sometimes with the P50.
Have the charger?
Yeah. Is it really? Wait a second. Did you plug the keyboard in?
Yeah.
You promise? It didn't come unplugged? Because I always have it come unplugged when I'm sliding it in. Wait, that doesn't sound right. I always have it come unplugged when I'm sliding it in.
I heard something like a buzz. But
Did I really just say it always comes unplugged when I'm sliding it in? Oh, that's another problem. Another common complaints of women that I date. Part of the problem of having a small piece. Okay, so
what is that truck? It's like a USB port.
yeah, it's their own proprietary thing.
Where? The back.
What's an Apple logo? Okay, so I should get this machine ready for the ultrasonic.
Why didn't you just put a strip here? Instead of that. So painful to reach.
I want to put a second strip over there that plugs into that.
Yeah, you put it right here.
That's a good idea. It's part of the plan.
Yeah, what's part of the plan is what happens.
Actually, no, part of my plan actually was buying a lead for this so that I could just plug it into the power supply, so I don't have to carry a charger with me.
Probably smarter.
But I bought it and then I lost it immediately afterwards. What happens to the big water jug? I forgot it at home today. I'm pissed. Got ripped off at the gym with a smart water. Have you fixed your burrito quality issue? No, there's no good burritos in Manhattan so far. Where? Don't say Chipotle. Who made that?
I'll tell you. First of all, Taqueria Guadalupe has the best, but that's Upper East. This place. Yeah, the keyboard's probably not plugged in when you jerked it off. Like,
What's the...
what? Oh. Probably just undo this entire thing and put it back in.
I'm this close to calling you a genius.
No. This is El Camino.
I'm gonna use a racial slur on you. You're a genius.
El Camino.
You're putting this back together like a genius.
You know what? I've never looked at a ThinkPad before. And it has this thingy in the middle.
Don't be a genius.
I'm not a genius.
See, that's something that if your mom heard on stream, she should be offended at, that I called you a genius. I would not let I wouldn't mind my kid going somewhere where they curse, scream, bitch, but somebody called my kid a genius, I would knock their face right off. How dare you! That is. Now let's clean the desk before moving on to the next one. There's flux everywhere and it's nasty. Heat it up a little so it comes off.
So many things I have to unscrew just to redo the keyboard.
No, there's only 3 screws. 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
And the keyboard will slide off.
Oh, yeah, oh. Keyboard's plugged in.
Let's see. Oh, the keyboard's plugged in, but what about this? This is the power button. That's probably this.
Oh. That's why. Also, I need to put this screw in.
And what's this gap in the back?
Yeah, I'll fix that.
Why do you have it? What you put a notch in my laptop?
No,
I don't want my laptop to have a notch.
not the notch.
Don't give me a notch. What's wrong with this next one? MacBook with water damage on the logic board.
I would put a notch in your next MacBook.
That thing is so annoying. When you watch video, apparently it shows up on the side.
It's impossible.
That is fucking bullshit.
At least on Samsung, like, you can choose. Oh no, Samsung even there's no notch. Samsung's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, you could choose to do normal or to zoom in a little bit and crop. I guess you could do that.
Did you get the Micro Kitty video? I did.
One.
Paul Daniels wants to know if you got.
No. Yeah. One.
Paul Daniels wants to know if you got the kitty video.
We did. That's cute.
And he ignores him. Did you see that the kitty ignores him?
Yeah.
That's so cute. What a cute kitten.
Why are we just gonna put the battery in?
Paul Daniels, why do you have that video as unlisted? Why are you robbing your subscribers the joy of seeing little Micro? Is it micro or micro? How do you pronounce it? I also forgot the gender of your kitty. How does your kitty identify?
It does
Let's see. All right, so all right, so hey, what do you mean unspecified error? There we go. All right, so we're going to be well, what? What do you mean unspecified error? How dare you? Don't tell me you're not going to work now. Oh, you're not going to not do that now. Come on. Come on. Test. Okay, this seems like it's working. All right, so next up is an A1502 that's dead. So this machine is not turning on, except for the fact that now it is. Wow, that's interesting enough. Now I see the keyboard backlight turning on and off randomly. This may actually get fixed by an ultrasonic. This may actually be something that has no... yeah, let's see.
Where can you get that ultrasonic?
You can buy an ultrasonic cleaner on store.rossmanngroup.com. Don't delay. Buy today. With 5 stars on Shopper approved. Free same-day shipping from New York City within the continental U.S. and a complete selection you can't lose. All right, so where's my T5? Here, little T5. Thank you. Said as micro. Ah, micro. Male with no balls. Male. Why is your kitty a male with no balls? That poor cat. Ooh, Lenovo. It works. Bada bing.
I gotta fix the case issue.
Are you regretting the fact that you agreed to this?
Yes.
Rightfully so.
So I'm gonna have to run like Prime 95 and check the temperature.
Don't delay. Buy today.
I'm gonna run a stress test on this thing.
Oh boy.
That's the trade-off.
Don't delay. What use is a cat if it doesn't have leaded solder balls? My cat's got leaded solder balls. Absolutely, hi.
Is that better for you? The case doesn't have an option.
Not Jessa, of course not. Jessa is in a committed relationship with her hot tweezers. Yes.
I don't even use hot tweezers.
Never.
They're so much easier to use though. For capacitors and stuff, that you have to replace a bunch of them because they're all corroded or something like that. Also, at one point when you did orders, did you ever use a heat gun rather than a hot air station?
There was one day that my hot air station died, so I used the Wagner. Yeah, it worked.
Yeah, but it probably took forever to heat.
No, it actually heated up pretty quickly. The accuracy was not exactly what I was looking for, given that the nozzle is like 2 inches, but
Yeah, you can't replace the nozzle. Or
there's no nozzle. It's just a heat gun.
you could probably make some sort of cup thing if you were good with metalworking. That would be something I would buy. A nozzle for my Wagner.
A nozzle for your Wagner.
I mean, I have a quick nozzle, so I wouldn't care. But I think people would actually buy that.
Oh, God. Paul, I've got a board for you. Paul, I've got a board for you. All right, let's take a look over this lovely board. So,
I'm gonna let you put the keyboard on.
I've got a board for Paul. 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 LCD connector. CPU MOSFETs. JTAG connector. System management controller.
Oh shoot,
Backlight circuit. CPU circuit.
that looks disgusting.
Look at that. Oh my God.
Keep that and show it to him when he comes tomorrow.
CPU circuit. More CPU circuit. SMC. Backlight circuit. Thunderbolt circuit.
Definitely keep that just to show it to him.
He won't mind.
That's what we call it.
It's probably fixable. It's just, let's get the stuff done that's actually simpler first. Let's see if there's even any money in that ticket. Is there money in that ticket? That ticket has some money. Okay.
You know LI computers?
All you, Paul. No. Let's see. There. Nope. Nope. Not it. That's somebody else's board. Paul got 2 days off last week, so I think it's totally fine. No, he got two. Yeah, but 2 days he's supposed to get off. I think that's fair. You got 2 days off that were paid, and in exchange you get that board. That's.
If you can fix layer by layer,
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. That seems fair to me.
you could probably fix that.
All right, unit does not work. Liquid spill, A1465. What's wrong with this? This one comes from Langhorne, Pennsylvania. From Andy. All right. Be right back. Okay, where was I? Oh, opening this new air. Why won't it slide back in? Ugh! I can never slide it in. I'm telling you. I can't make my ThinkPad happy. I can't make women happy. Come on, keyboard. This is my Lenovo. My keyboard doesn't want to slide in. Slide in! Slide in, little keyboard.
It's getting there. No, not the mouse thing. Do you even use that?
All the time. I never use the trackpad. I usually turn the trackpad off. Yeah, it's garbage. Can't use a trackpad. Alright, that's about as far down as this beat up thing's gonna get.
Okay. Can you open it so I can run? Can you at least just see what the temperature you get to?
Yeah, let's see. Sign in options, so I gotta clean the keyboard and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, get some alcohol.
Okay. No, don't use that. I'll use something else. No, the alcohol with the paper towel will break off into a bunch of little pieces and get everywhere. Yeah. Okay, where was I?
Let's run a game on Steam.
Is the yellow thing in the background the new motherboard cleaner? Yep.
We need to do a video on it anyway.
Fortnite?
Yeah.
What am I gonna do a video on Fortnite?
Fortnite on this thing versus on a MacBook.
I don't know how to play the Fortnite.
But I do. Fortnite on this computer.
I don't know how to play the Fortnite. I will look dumb. Okay.
Where's that clip on it? Oh. That's weird. And there's some middle clip too.
Middle what?
Middle clip.
Yeah. Ever heard of the screen in the MacBook Pro 2017 breaking from the screen side, not the glass? Yeah. It's a very, very easy to break screen.
Steve. Steve. Fortnite on Lewis's computer as a stress test.
No, don't do that.
It's gonna happen.
Don't you install that bloatware shit. Shit, what are you doing on my computer? I logged you into my account. What? What? Cancel. Get that shit off of my computer.
Not Fortnite, no.
Get the fuck up. Get away from this.
No.
Fuck, rollback action. Don't install that cancer on my computer.
But you need to.
I'm not playing Fortnite.
Yes, you are.
Jesus.
Fine, I'll open a Steam game.
No. You will open Prime 95. You will compute prime numbers.
You have Friendly Fire on this.
No, you'll have to download it.
You can download Epic Games on Fortnite.
I'm not downloading any game. No games. Fire him, says hi. It's tempting. But I don't think I can fire you. I think I'd have to hire you first. All right, so this machine is an A1465, liquid damage, and it has a light in the charger, which means PP3V42 is probably present, but it's drawing 0 amps in my power supply. Let's take it apart and try to get an idea of why that is. Wouldn't it be funny if this is another bad trackpad? That would actually be funny. So before I even waste my time on that bullshit, I'm going to unplug the trackpad cable, plug the machine back in, and holy shit, it fucking works. Apple, you did it again. Think fucking different. It chimed, it donged. Come on, give me an Apple logo. Oh, what? No backlight. Damn. All right. So at least we've. So then, and I have open hardware monitor and that Intel FIT tool. It actually isn't going to go to the full clock speed unless you plug it in.
That's weird.
Unless there's some setting I have to do today. Small FFT is going to burn it the most. That boils the shit out of the CPU. Okay, so I do actually have to use my brain a little bit here. So we've got no image. Let's try and figure out why we have no image. So we did fix the fact that it doesn't turn on. All we had to do that is unplug the trackpad, or what I like to call the booby trap. In MacBook Airs, the trackpad is the booby trap. On older machines, you had to get liquid onto the keyboard in order for it to stop working. On MacBooks, you actually just have to get water anywhere and it stops working. Like keyboard, trackpad, left, right, up, down. It's just, they just die. That's just what MacBooks tend to do. So I did a video recently, and I'll link to it here when I edit this for the main channel, where I talked about how MacBook engineering works, how the power button is a part of the keyboard, and how if you get liquid on any part of the keyboard, your power button stops working. With the MacBook Air, they've engineered it so that that extends to the trackpad. So if you get water anywhere on this machine, it's dead. It's fucking dead.
73 on that.
And that's with Prime 95? Holy shit, I used to get 90-something on that. Damn, Lenovo thermal paste is garbage. Let's see. Go back to the Prime. Are you sure you said it's a CPU and not small FFTs and not large FFTs? Damn, that's a lot of savings. All right. So now we have to figure out why it is we're getting no image on the screen on this pile of crap. So let's take a look at the image circuitry on this crap book. Now, if you take a close look at the image circuitry under the microscope, you'll see that it looks like shit. Look at that.
That's not thermal paste, that looks stuff.
Wow. But
And their Glock is amazing.
all right, so you see that there's something funny on pins 3 and 4 of the connector. Pin 3 of this connector is broken. That is totally burned off on this MacBook. And the connector itself looks a little dirty. But I think that the connector itself is probably good. I'm just going to take a look on the inside. I take that back. This connector is filled to the brim with broken plastic. See that? That's a lot of broken plastic there. So we're going to remove that connector. We're going to repeal and replace it with a good one. MacBook engineering. Think different. Think different, folks. Are you thinking differently yet? I hope you're thinking differently.
No, just think
You must think different. The cult of think different.
Where did that paper towels?
These are free.
Huh?
Free burritos.
Free burritos.
I didn't order them. They just came.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wait, burritos just came and you ate them?
Instead of waiting for them, you mean, or
What do you mean?
Where'd they come from?
wait? So this one's
Oh, I
mine?
know what. I know what. These are like the same burritos as
This
before.
one's mine, or
You
yours?
want it?
I'll take half. Yeah.
Wait, so did somebody just...
The same stuff I ordered yesterday.
Oh. I mean, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't somebody like sending cyanide.
Oh no.
I usually have to give a taste test anything that was sent from stream.
By him.
What?
By him.
He seems to be resilient.
All those cigarettes.
If he can survive all those cigarettes, then he can survive the cyanide that they probably
We
put
put
in.
the cigarette Pepe on him on his. We also lost the tattoo Pepe.
I miss Tattoo Pepe.
Where's Pepe doll?
We have a Pepe on Paul's chair. Actually, I see a Pepe on Paul's chair over there.
Oh yeah, Steve put it there.
Let's see.
Steve put it there.
Where the hell did this thing come from?
Steve.
You shit posters. You fucking shit posters. What the hell is this doing on Paul's chair?
Steve, he found your Pepe.
What the fuck is that doing in the background of my video? What the fuck? Look at it. What the hell, man? What the? Really?
Wait, nobody caught that? I really thought someone was gonna get that right away. That's-
We're leaving that there.
Fuck.
That's going in the edited one too.
Oh, that's shit posting.
You're welcome.
Focus back on. Face focus. There we go.
I will admit the lens on this camera is pretty good.
That wasn't even a normal Pepe. It's a Pepe that's like the hell.
It had to happen.
Pepe Bus G3 hot.
How'd you notice that?
I saw it in the background of the camera.
We got an audience member.
Surprised nobody in the audience noticed that. It was clear. Actually, no, you can't see that for shit when it's focused on me. See?
Oh.
It's just barely noticeable in the background there. But when you zoom on it, it becomes obvious.
You need to increase the aperture in your lens. So more things are in focus.
Yeah.
Oh, in that case, then a light in the back wouldn't be as sharp. And then your face would probably less bright as well. Also, why'd you put in the camera? Put a blue chip or tomorrow we have the race. I'm gonna boost the performance of my board tonight, so what's that? What you down? No? Whenever you can, alright? Send it to me. Send me the note.
You can see the solder on the pads for powering the screen. It was kind of nastier than the rest of it. See? Need some scrapey scrape.
I love how the flux you don't have to have any care about doing everything like precisely.
Yeah, I love flux.
Just like running over and it works.
Scrape your pads.
Look at the block. $10.
It looks like a good burrito.
It is.
I should get one from there.
I'll give you the spot. Better than the other burrito. And they use spinach wraps instead of whole wheat.
Ryan, I support you hitting that button. Ugh. Okay. A new connector coming up. What changed? The $450 a month internet bill just to be able to stream, the thousands of dollars I was spending just to record stuff like those right to repair hearings that made $40 in monetization. Yeah, that's quite a bit to do with it.
You have to spend $1,000 to record that?
When I was flying to the Nebraska one, yeah.
Why?
I went to the Nebraska one, and the Nashville one, and the Albany one.
But why?
What do you mean, why?
Why would you have to pay so much?
Flight, hotel, recording equipment, laptop to stream
I
it.
thought you meant for literally just to record it.
No. I did buy the Lenovo for that purpose of being able to live stream those hearings, so. Apple engineering at its best with their VESA mount. Yeah. That was a joke. I like how they say, well, that's no. You don't understand. That product has our logo on it, but we don't actually support it. That doesn't matter. We don't make it. Okay, so what you're saying is that the logo on the product doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be quality, because you're not. So why does it matter for others? Uh, Soldered. All right, now the question is, should I plug in that original screen to this? Well, let's see. If it's not shorted to ground, I'll give it a try. Probably is shorted to ground. Pin 9 from the left. Is that one okay? Good question. Yeah, it looks good to me. All right. You should set up a Discord server where people can chat and discuss technical things. I have one, but it has about 1,400 people. I probably forgot to put the link in the live channel description. That's something I'll have to do. But it's up to, I think, 1,400 online users. Let's see. Where are we at right now? Discord is sitting at 1,676 users. Wow. That is... Yeah, I probably just forgot to put the link here. I do. Okay. No. It's the VESA is OEM, but Apple selected the manufacturer, so ultimately it's on Apple. Yeah. That's the thing. It doesn't even really matter. What matters is when they said we can't really support it because it's not our product. You put your logo on it, like fuck you. At that point, you can't say that. You put your logo on the product. So whether or not you want to take fault for how bad it's made, whatever, but you need to support that because it's your logo on it. And you're the one selling it in your damn store. Okay, let's see. What do we get? Diode mode, backlight output. Damn it. Stop that. 0.522. Okay, so even though that LCD cable looks like garbage, I should at the very least be able to run a basic test. It's a counterfeit product. Damn straight. Is the only unavailability of open board view the only thing stopping you from going full Linux? Hell no. What stopped me from going full Linux is I don't hate myself that much. If you have a Lenovo ThinkPad P50, HDMI audio doesn't work in Linux. That sucks. All of my VST plugins for audio don't work in Linux. That sucks. I'd have to use a video editor that crashes way more often. That sucks. I lose my fingerprint reader. That sucks. I lose... Like, there's just... There's a board that's been sitting in the alcohol container for quite a while. Huh?
Uh-oh.
That one's been there for a while.
I know, yeah.
Okay, is this going to blow up?
Can you review the screen on this? The screen.
Oh, okay.
What voltage do we get at backlight output? And also screen output. I'm curious about that too. All right, so screen output voltage is 3.2. Backlight output voltage is 0. Womp womp. All right, backlight fuse is one side 8.5, other side 345 millivolts. Fuck. Fuck. All right, let's replace that backlight fuse. We will replace this backlight fuse and make this board amazing again. What the hell is that? No. No. Stop it. Put those rare pepes back where they belong. Oh, look, a corroded resistor. Come on, resistor, why you gotta be so corroded for? It's a nice clean resistor. I refurbished that resistor.
Let's just assume you buy a refurbished phone. What does that actually mean?
It means that somebody else took a broken one and fixed it.
Doing like replacing parts and stuff like that?
That's what I guess, yeah. That resistor still looks sad. Let's see if we can make that a happy little resistor. Give him the paw, yeah. Give it the paw. I took them back, yes. I never had, they weren't on my desk. It means that you stole them. That is a beautifully fixed board.
Thank you, Niblet. Digging a hole through the board. Yep. That's what we do here.
Oh. God, these are the type that have those extra screws. No. Would you say iPhone screen repair is a really bad business?
Somewhat. Okay. Backlight voltage 0. Fuse blown again. All right, let's stop using that shitty LCD cable, shall we? Replace fuse again. Let's try a proper testing screen. That fuse is only for backlight, yes. Is the flux gluten-free? I doubt that. Okay.
Free with no chemicals.
Okay.
Wait, why don't you use rosin flux rather than Amtech?
Where's the screen? You have a screen? This is a tester that's supposed to work. The voltage. You really blew another backlight fuse? You did, you bastard. All right, so there's got to be a short circuit here. Where the hell are you? What? Are you telling me that my new screen, that my tester screen just broke? No, it's not that. Oh, I think I plugged in the messed up screen of that connector. I screwed it up. Oh, what a little doggy. You have an adorable dog. I plugged in the messed up screen into the messed up connector. I mean, into the good connector, which created a messed up connector. I'm a noob. Either that or it's these output caps. What do you say? That output cap doesn't look very happy. Okay. Removed you. Still shorted. Remove you. Not shorted. Okay, so that stupid... So when I plugged in the original screen, it actually wound up breaking the connector again and killing the light. Well, that sucks. That was stupid. That was a newbie mistake. Okay. I can't believe I made that mistake in 2018. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassingly dumb. Okay, take you. You can buy a new LCD connector on store.rossmanngroup.com. Don't delay. Buy today.
This one does not work.
That works just fine.
No, it does not.
I'm turning computers on with it this whole time.
Look. It's a perfectly working computer. Look.
You're putting it there wrong.
Yeah, I'm plugging it in wrong.
Likely. That's what Steve Jobs would say. Mac OS is not repeating keys when held down at all. I've never had that problem.
Let's take Steve's. This is the one that definitely works. Oh yeah.
You're
No way.
you're probably holding it wrong. And also you're at 12 volts. You need 18. And you need to...
Oh, that's wrong.
Thank you, by the way. You still have 2 pins shorted on the connector. I sure do. Tell me why they don't matter. You do that while I'm getting a fuse. Is Duke also in chat and live stream, says Firephone? There's no way to know. I kind of think he's always watching, waiting for me to screw up. I think he's there watching. Safe to say. Laughing at my screw-ups. Duke's a good guy, though. I hope he manages to make it to New York soon. Have to finally meet him. So good. Come on. Slide into place. Good little resistor. I mean fuse, not resistor. Center pins are bridged. Oh, god damn it. There goes my being a wise ass. Yeah, I'll move that bridge too if it triggers you. Or just make it bigger. Wow, what a day. I think it's about time to get a burrito. Screw it. Okay. Now let's see what we get. Thank you, Tim L. I appreciate that. I forgot to put the capacitor back on. Oh wait, backlight fuse is good. I think my refurbishing of the resistor did not go as well as I thought it did. Yeah, I need to not refurbish that resistor and just replace it. I'm being a cheapskate. Time for a burrito. Yeah, time for food. Fuck this. I'll come back to this later. So thanks for watching, and as always, I hope you learned something.